Making money online can be a great way to earn some extra cash or even a full-time income. But it's not always easy. In fact, it can be tough. There are a lot of scams out there, and it can be hard to tell the difference between a legitimate opportunity and a waste of time. And even if you find a legitimate opportunity, it can be hard to make any money if you don't have the right skills or knowledge. In this video, we'll explore some of the reasons why making money online can be tough. We'll also give you some tips on how to find legitimate opportunities and make the most of them. Identify the problem. The first step of any business is to identify the problem your customers are trying to solve. If you can't identify a problem, you won't be able to create a product that solves it, which means you won't have a business. Problems can be specific, like needing a better way to store towels in a small bathroom, or they can be more general, like needing a more affordable way to get groceries delivered to your home. The more specific your problem is, the easier it will be to solve. If you can't identify a specific problem, try brainstorming different problems your customers might have that your product might solve. Understand the root cause of the problem. Once you've identified a problem, you need to understand why it exists. If your towel storage solution never takes off, it's important to know why so you can try a different approach. Was it because people didn't want to store their towels that way, or was it because they didn't know how to store them that way? It's also important to understand why the problem exists. If people keep buying groceries at the grocery store, you need to know why. Maybe it's because they don't have time to shop for groceries online. If you can understand the root cause of the problem, you can create a solution that solves it. Find a solution that is scalable. If you create a new product that solves a specific problem, you might have a successful business. But if you create a product that solves a specific problem for one person, you don't have a business. Instead, you have a product. The key to creating a scalable business is finding a solution that can be used by many people to solve many problems. For example, if you create a shoe that has a hidden pocket for storing money and ID, you can't scale your business. You can only sell those shoes to people who wear that kind of shoe. But if you create an app that allows people to store their ID and money in their phone, you can scale that app to millions of people. Test the solution. As we mentioned above, if you create a product that solves only one problem, it's not a scalable business. So before you invest a lot of time and money in your idea, you need to make sure it solves the problem. One way to do this is to use a concept called minimum viable product. The basic idea behind the minimum viable product is that you don't need to create the finished product to test it. In fact, it's often a better idea to develop just enough of a product to test it. If you create a completely finished product and try to sell it, you might fail. But if you develop only the most basic version of your product and try to sell it, there's a good chance you'll succeed. Implement the solution. If you've solved a problem and created a scalable solution that people are willing to pay for, you've got a business. But if you don't implement your solution, you don't have a business. The difference between a successful entrepreneur and an unsuccessful one is the ability to implement their solution. For example, if you create an app for storing IDs and money in your phone, you'll need to tell people about it and get them to download it. If you don't take the time to market your product and get people to use it, you won't make any money. The only difference between someone who creates successful businesses and someone who creates failed businesses is the ability to implement their solution. Conclusion. Making money online can be a great way to earn some extra cash or even a full-time income. But it's not always easy. In fact, it can be tough. There are a lot of scams out there, and it can be hard to tell the difference between a legitimate opportunity and a waste of time. And even if you find a legitimate opportunity, it can be hard to make any money if you don't have the right skills or knowledge. To make the most of your online opportunities, it's important to identify the problem, understand the root cause of the problem, find a solution that is scalable, test the solution, and implement the solution.